Hello everyone, welcome back to our Unity FPS controller series. In today's episode, we're going to improve our shooting system by adding a professional camera recoil system. We have already created the weapon recoil in a previous episode. Our weapon currently moves backward and rotates whenever we shoot, which gives us a nice weapon kickback animation. However, the camera itself doesn't react to the weapon firing, and because of this, the weapon animation looks good, but the player doesn't fully feel the power of the shot. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started. Before writing the code, let's understand the difference between weapon recoil and camera recoil. Weapon recoil is mainly a visual animation. It moves the weapon backward or rotates it to make the gun model feel powerful. Camera recoil affects the player's actual view. It makes the player feel the upward force of the weapon. A professional FPS shooting system normally combines both systems. When we fire, the weapon kicks backward, the camera rotates upward, the camera can move slightly left or right, then both systems recover smoothly. Together, these effects make shooting feel much more responsive and satisfying. Let's get started. First of all, let's create a new C# script and name this as camera recoil. Open up the script, and just like previous systems, we'll remove mono behavior. We'll add a serializable attribute. And we'll remove start and update methods. First of all, we need values of hipfire recoil. So let's create a header hipfire recoil. First of all, we need values for a minimum and maximum vertical recoil. Instead of using a single value, we'll use a range. So every shot feels slightly different. Let's add serialized field private vector2 vertical recoil range equals new vector2 1.2 for x and 2 for y. Now every time we shoot, we'll randomly pick a value between these two numbers to make the recoil feel more natural. Now we need another variable to control the horizontal camera movement while shooting. Let's add serialized field private float horizontal recoil equals 0.45. This controls how much the camera can move randomly to the left or right during recoil. Finally, we'll create a variable for camera roll. Let's add serialized field private float recoil roll equals 0.15. This will add a slight camera tilt whenever we shoot. It's a subtle effect, but it adds extra weight and impact to the weapon. Now let's create a setting that controls the recoil while aiming down sights. But first, let's create a header for a DS setting. Now we need a variable to control aiming recoil. Let's add a range attribute to keep the aiming recoil in between 0 to 1. And now add serialized field private float aiming recoil multiplier equals 0.55. This multiplier reduces the recoil while aiming. Lower values mean better weapon control during ADS. Next, we need the variables to control recoil behavior. So first, let's add a header. First, we need a variable to control how quickly the camera reacts. After a shot is fired, let's add serialized field, private float, recoil snappiness equals 18. Higher values make the recoil feel more responsive, while lower values create a softer camera movement. Now let's create another variable that controls how quickly the camera returns back to its original position. Let's add serialized field, private float, recoil return speed equals 10. This controls the recoil recovery speed. After the player stops shooting, the camera will smoothly return to its normal position. Finally, we need to limit how much recoil can accumulate during continuous firing. Let's add serialized field, private float, max vertical recoil equals 8. This is the maximum upward recoil the camera can reach. It prevents automatic weapons from continuously pushing the camera higher and higher. And now we need last two variables to store current and target recoil at runtime. Let's first create a variable to store the current camera recoil. Let's add private vector 3, current recoil. This stores the recoil currently being applied to the camera. We'll update it smoothly every frame. And second variable will be to store the recoil we want to reach after each shot. Let's add private vector 3, target recoil. Every time we shoot, we'll add recoil to this variable. Then our current recoil will smoothly move toward it, creating a natural recoil animation. Now let's create a method that will add recoil every time the player shoots. This method will calculate the recoil and store it so we can apply it to our camera later. Let's create public void add recoil and pass a bool is aiming in it. First thing we'll do in this method is we'll calculate a recoil multiplier. This will allow us to reduce the recoil while aiming down sights. Let's add a local float recoil multiplier equals if is aiming, then recoil multiplier will be aiming recoil multiplier else 1. Now that means if the player is aiming, we'll use our aiming recoil multiplier. Otherwise, we'll use a value of 1, which means the weapon will use its normal recoil. Now we'll generate a random vertical recoil value. Let's add a local float vertical kick equals unity engine dot random dot range, and minimum will be vertical recoil range dot x, and maximum will be vertical recoil range dot y. This line randomly selects a value between our minimum and maximum vertical recoil. Because of this, every shot will have a slightly different upward kick. Next, we'll generate a random horizontal recoil. Let's add a local float horizontal kick equals unity engine dot random dot range, and minimum will be negative horizontal recoil and maximum will be positive horizontal recoil. This randomly moves the camera either to the left or to the right. Using both negative and positive values makes the recoil feel much less predictable. Finally, we'll generate a small camera roll. Let's add a local float roll kick equals unity engine dot random dot range, and minimum will be negative recoil roll and maximum will be positive recoil roll. This creates a small random tilt of the camera. It's a subtle effect, but it makes the weapon feel heavier and more satisfying to shoot. Now let's combine all of these recoil values and add them to our target recoil. Let's say target recoil plus equals new vector 3. For X, it's negative vertical kick. For Y, it's horizontal kick. And for Z, it's roll kick multiplied by recoil multiplier. Here we're creating a vector 3 using our vertical, horizontal, and roll values. We're adding it to our target recoil instead of replacing it. This allows the recoil to accumulate while continuously firing. Finally, we multiply it with our recoil multiplier, so aiming automatically reduces the recoil. And let's make sure our camera doesn't keep moving upward forever during automatic fire. Let's say target recoil dot x equals mathf dot clamp. And value will be target recoil dot x. Minimum will be negative max vertical recoil. And maximum will be 0. This limits the maximum vertical recoil. No matter how long the player keeps shooting, the camera will never exceed this value, giving us much more controlled recoil. Now let's create another method that will update our recoil every frame and return the final camera rotation. Let's say public vector 3. Update recoil. First, let's smoothly move our target recoil back towards 0. Let's say target recoil equals vector 3 dot lerp, and from target recoil to vector 3.0, and with recoil return speed multiply by time.delta time. This creates a recoil recovery. Once the player stops shooting, the target recoil will gradually return back to its original position, instead of snapping instantly. Now let's smoothly move our current recoil toward the target recoil. Let's say current recoil equals vector3.lerp, and it's from current recoil to target recoil with recoil snappiness multiplied by time.delta time. Finally, let's return the current recoil value. Let's say return current recoil. We'll use this return vector3 inside our camera look script. It will be added to our normal mouse rotation, allowing the camera recoil and player input to work together seamlessly. That's it for our camera recoil script. Now we need to connect this recoil with our weapon and camera system. First, let's open the weapon controller script. We're keeping the camera recoil class inside the weapon controller because every weapon can have its own recoil values. For example, pistol, rifle, SMG, and shotgun should not all use the same camera recoil. So inside the weapon controller, create a new header for camera recoil. Now create the camera recoil variable. Let's add serialize field private camera recoil, camera underscore recoil. This will expose all of our camera recoil settings directly inside the weapon controller inspector. Because every weapon has its own weapon controller, every weapon can now have completely different recoil setting. Now let's open our camera look script. Currently, our handle rotation method only receives the player transform and camera transform. But now we also need to send the recoil rotation to this method. So let's add a third parameter. Let's add vector3. Camera recoil rotation. This vector3 will contain the final recoil rotation calculated by our camera recoil class. Previously, our camera rotation only calculates vertical mouse look rotation. And now we'll add recoil on top of the existing mouse look rotation, and we'll add the left and right movement and the small camera tilt. Let's add camera recoil rotation .x and change y to camera recoil rotation .y and z to camera recoil rotation .z. This allows the player's mouse movement and camera recoil to work together. Now let's open our FPS controller script. And here we need a variable that can carry the recoil rotation from the weapon controller to the camera look script. So let's add hide in inspector public vector3 camera recoil rotation. We're making it public because the weapon controller needs to update it, but we're using hide in inspector because we don't need to edit this value manually. It will be calculated automatically while the game is running. This variable acts like a bridge between our weapon controller and camera look system. Now go to the handle rotation method inside the FPS controller, and now we'll pass our camera recoil rotation as the third parameter. Now let's go back to our weapon controller script. Inside the update method, we'll store the camera recoils update recoil vector 3 inches, FPS controller vector 3 camera recoil rotation. Let's say fps.camera recoil rotation equals camera recoil.update recoil. From there, the FPS controller passes it to camera look. And finally, camera look adds it to the camera's rotation. Now our camera recoil system is connected with the weapon controller, FPS controller, and camera look script. The only thing left is to add recoil whenever the weapon actually fires. Inside our shooting method, we will call the add recoil method from camera recoil class and pass is aiming in it. Save the script and back to Unity editor to test the camera recoil. First, let's test hip fire. When we shoot, the weapon kicks backward and the camera also moves upward. If we hold the fire button, the recoil gradually accumulates because every bullet adds more rotation to the target recoil. When we stop shooting, the camera smoothly returns toward its original rotation. Now let's test it while aiming, because we passed his aiming into the add recoil method. The ADS multiplier reduces the amount of camera movement, so our hip fire recoil feels stronger, while aiming gives us more control. Now, our complete camera recoil system is working. The weapon controller owns the recoil values. The shooting method adds recoil for every bullet. The weapon controller updates the recoil every frame. The FPS controller transfers the recoil rotation. And the camera look script applies it on top of the normal mouse rotation. That's it for our camera recoil system. In the next episode, we'll connect the weapon's actual bullet spread with our dynamic crosshair, so its size represents the weapon's real accuracy.